Welcome to Sleepy Science Wonders. This is a harbor for the curious. For those who carry their questions in silence. For those who want to feel rather than just understand. For those who want to read science not in a textbook, but in their own body. Everything here is slow. Everything comes from within. If you found this voice tonight, you're probably exactly where you need to be. Don't forget to subscribe. And if this video does something for you, let it reach another curious wanderer out there. Now, let's go inside. Right now, in this silence. Maybe you're lying down. Maybe your eyes are already closed. Maybe you're sitting alone in the dark, no one else around. But there is something inside you. Small, persistent, refusing to go out. Maybe it's a thought. Maybe a feeling. Maybe you can't quite name what it is. You just know, it's there. That your chest is a little tighter than it should be. That your breath is a little shallower than it could be. That somewhere in the corner of your mind, something is turning, slowly, without rest, without asking permission. We call this anxiety. But that word feels too small sometimes. Too clinical. Too cold. Too contained. Because that feeling, the one that wakes you at midnight, that tightens your chest, that spins your mind in slow circles, is so much larger than a word. So much older. So much more human. Take a slow breath. Through your nose. Unhurried. No one is watching. Nothing is waiting. Just this breath. And one more. The purpose of tonight is not to destroy that feeling. It's to understand it. And understanding is sometimes enough on its own. Sometimes just knowing why you feel this way makes that feeling a few inches more manageable. A little less heavy. A little less alone. Anxiety is one of the oldest companions in human history. Think of our ancestors. Stepping out of a cave in the early morning, before sunrise. Eyes scanning the tree line. Nostrils reading the air. A mind calculating what each shadow, each sound might mean. The snap of a branch sending the entire system into motion. Heart jolting. Muscles tightening. Breath catching. That feeling in that moment, is exactly what you feel tonight at midnight. The brain hasn't changed. The nervous system hasn't changed. 100,000 years have passed. Generations came and went. Cities rose and fell. Technology transformed everything around us. But that alarm mechanism is still in the same place. Still working the same way. Still producing the same chemicals. Only the dangers changed. There are no lions now. No saber-toothed cats. But the brain processes tomorrow morning's meeting, sometimes with the same urgency. An unanswered email. Something you said, or didn't say. Someone who didn't look at you the way they usually do. Something that may never even arrive. And that is exhausting. Feel the weight of your body right now. That heaviness in your legs, your shoulders, your eyelids. This tiredness doesn't come from lack of sleep alone. Being constantly on alert uses energy. Constantly standing by, even when nothing visible is happening, drains something from deep within. Quietly. Without asking. The scientific name for anxiety is anxiety. But long before science gave it a name, people were living it. We find its trace in the earliest written records. In Mesopotamian clay tablets. In ancient Egyptian papyrus scrolls. In Greek poetry and Roman philosophical journals. The heart tightens, the breath wants to stop, the nights stretch long and morning won't come, they write. The Stoic philosopher Seneca, 2,000 years ago, wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." 2,000 years. And that sentence still lands this close. Someone living thousands of years ago felt exactly what you feel right now. Picture it in your mind's eye. Someone awake at midnight. Maybe in an ancient city, inside a stone house, on a wooden bed. Maybe in a tent, stars above and wind outside. Maybe in a large apartment building in a city where thousands are sleeping, the only lit window. The same feeling. The same weight. The same thoughts turning in silence, refusing to stop. You are not alone. You have never been alone in this. So where does this feeling come from? Inside your body, there is a small but extraordinarily powerful alarm system. When it senses danger, or when something feels like danger, this system activates. Chemicals release. Cortisol. Adrenaline. Noradrenaline. The heart speeds up. Muscles begin to tighten. Breath grows shallow. Digestion slows. Blood redirects toward the large muscles. The body is preparing to fight or to flee. Within seconds. Automatically. Without consulting your conscious mind. This system was designed to protect you. And it works remarkably well. But sometimes, it works too sensitively. It activates even when there's no real danger. Even when the threat is only a thought. A memory, an imagined scenario, a what-if question, sometimes that's all it takes. Because the brain cannot always fully distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. Let's feel this together. Picture a lemon in your mind's eye. Yellow, bright, cold and heavy. Imagine holding it in the palm of your hand. Feel the slightly rough, oily texture of the skin. Now slice it in half. That sharp, sour smell rises from inside. A drop of juice touches the tip of your tongue. Did your mouth water? Did your face tighten slightly? There was no lemon. No lemon existed anywhere in this room. But your body responded. Processed it as real. The salivary glands activated. Anxiety works exactly like this. Even when the danger has only been imagined, only thought. The brain and body respond as if it were real. The same chemicals. The same heart rhythm. The same muscle tension. Take one more slow breath. Right now, in this very moment, feel that you are genuinely safe. Your bed or your chair is holding you. You are breathing. Your heart is beating. Everything, right now, is working. Anxiety sometimes makes the future look so large, so close, so inevitable, that it erases the present. Makes the safety of this moment invisible. But this moment is real. This moment is here. The future is not yet. The nervous system, the great, mysterious web at the center of this journey. A system that extends from the base of your skull to the tips of your toes. Trillions of connections. Every second, whether you're aware of it or not, transmitting an enormous amount of information. Regulating heart rate. Adjusting breath. Building alarms against danger. Trying to turn them off when danger passes. One part of this web warns you. Danger ahead, prepare. Move. Another part calms you. Danger has passed, you can rest. Let go. And anxiety is when the balance between these two parts breaks. When the warning side grows too loud for too long, the calming side cannot catch up. The alarm rings, and rings, and rings. Even when the danger has long passed. Even when the danger never came at all. Sometimes that alarm becomes so familiar that it no longer knows what it's responding to. It simply rings. Because ringing has become its default state. Slowly scan your body right now. Start at the top of your head. Is there tension across your forehead? Are your eyebrows pulled together without you realizing? Move down to your jaw. The jaw muscles are one of the most common places anxiety is stored. Many people hold their jaw clenched through most of the day. Even while sleeping. Let it soften a little now. Let your teeth part gently. Come to your shoulders. Most people hold their shoulders lifted toward their ears without realizing it. Let them drop now. Slowly, without forcing, naturally. Come to your chest. When you breathe, what moves, your chest or your belly? Just notice. No judgment. No effort to change. Just observe. Move to your hands. Are your palms closed or open? Stretch your fingers, let them go soft. Hands hold a great deal, and often forget to release. Down to your legs. The weight of your thighs. Your knees. Your feet, pressing gently into whatever is below them. Your whole body is here. With you. For you. Still working. This is not a test. This is simply saying hello to yourself. The fact that you're here, listening to this, says something about you. You want to understand. Not escape, understand. This is a small but very important difference. Many people fight their anxiety. Try to suppress it. Ignore it. Tell themselves to stop being silly. Or stay so busy, without pause, without silence, that the feeling can't keep up. But it always keeps up. Anxiety doesn't come to be destroyed. It comes to be understood. A message from your body. Sometimes very loud. Sometimes very frightening. Sometimes poorly timed, unfair, seemingly senseless. But still a message. And learning to read that message is a very different kind of journey. In the chapters ahead, we'll descend into the depths of the nervous system. Into the dark, quiet rooms of the amygdala. Into how danger signals are processed in the brain within seconds. Into how stress is stored in the body. Into why some moments feel like they never truly leave. Into the long, mysterious journey of the vagus nerve. Into why breath is such a powerful tool. Into how sleep processes anxiety through the night. But at the beginning of everything, is this feeling. The feeling that wakes you at night. Picture it in your mind's eye. A dark sea. Small waves. The surface barely moving on a windless night. Stars reflected on the water. And you, floating on that sea, quietly. Not sinking. Just drifting. Anxiety can be like this sometimes. Not here to swallow you, just to move through you. And waves always, always, eventually still. Water always calms. Night always turns to morning. Let your body sink into whatever is holding it right now. Feel your full weight. Gravity is holding you. The surface is holding you. The night is holding you. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to solve anything right now. Tomorrow has tomorrow. Your body knows how to breathe. Your lungs know. Your heart knows. Every cell knows. Millions of years of wisdom live inside you. Just let it. This journey begins here. From that familiar, exhausting, persistent feeling. The one that's there when you wake at midnight, the one that stays through to morning. Without judgment. Without fighting. Just recognition. Because recognition is already a beginning. And every journey begins with one. That feeling is still with you. Maybe a little lighter. Maybe a little more familiar. We looked at it, that thing that wakes at midnight. We named it, we saw its history. But now let's go a little deeper. What lies beneath that feeling? What system produces it? How does the body actually work? Because the body speaks a language. And this language is not made of words. It's made of symptoms. Sensations. Tensions. Compressions. Aches. My stomach is knotting up, the body is saying something. My chest is tightening, the body is saying something. My neck is locked up again. The body is speaking again. Another message arriving. And most of us grow up without learning this language. We learn to suppress the body's signals. We learn to say, it doesn't matter. We learn to say, keep going. Until the body has to speak louder. Take a slow breath. Through your nose. Gently. And in this breath, listen to your body for just a moment. Simply hear. Simply notice. Nothing else is required. The nervous system is the body's communication network. But not an ordinary network. Far more complex. Far faster. Far more layered. Some signals travel at nearly 100 meters per second. When a finger touches a hot surface and pulls back immediately, that's this speed. The hand withdraws before the mind even registers what happened. Other signals move more slowly, more deeply, more comprehensively. Emotion belongs in this category. A sustained feeling of anxiety travels through the body for hours. Moving from place to place. Settling somewhere. This network has two great branches. The central nervous system, the brain and spinal cord. This is command central. All information is processed here. All decisions are coordinated from here. And the peripheral nervous system, the line along which the brain communicates with everything else. Organs, muscles, skin, the inner world. That great web of connections stretching from fingertips to ears, from stomach to heart. But what matters most to us right now is a smaller, yet critically important system within this structure. The autonomic nervous system. Think about the word autonomic for a moment. It means self-governing. Independent. Operating on its own. This system works outside your conscious control. You don't consciously control your heartbeat. You don't manage your digestion. You don't decide to sweat. You don't watch your pupils dilate and contract. This system makes decisions on your behalf. Every moment. While you sleep, while you're awake, while you think, while you feel. Without pausing to ask. Without waiting for approval. It simply does. And it operates in different modes depending on what you're experiencing. The autonomic nervous system has two great branches. The first, the sympathetic nervous system. The gas pedal. The side that activates, stimulates, energizes, and prepares. When there's danger, or when something feels like danger, this side engages. Quickly. Automatically. The heart speeds up. breath grows shallow but faster. Muscles prepare to tighten. Blood sugar rises. Pupils dilate, gathering more information. Digestion moves to the background. Blood flows to the large muscles. Palms may begin to sweat. Everything serves a single purpose: survival. The second, the parasympathetic nervous system. The brake pedal. The side that calms, repairs, digests, and rests. Scientists call this mode rest and digest, the direct opposite of fight or flight. When this side is active, the heart slows. Breath deepens and slows. Digestion engages. Cells enter repair mode. The immune system activates. The body attends to its long-term work. A healthy nervous system dances continuously between these two sides. When danger arrives, the sympathetic engages. When danger passes, the parasympathetic takes the stage. Like a wave. Like a breath. In and out. Tension and release. Alarm and stillness. This dance can be very fast. Even the time between heartbeats changes, speeding when threat is perceived, slowing when it passes. This flexibility is the sign of a healthy system. Anxiety is when this dance breaks down. The sympathetic side stays on stage too long. The parasympathetic cannot get its turn. And the body continues standing by, even when it should be resting. Gas pedal pressed. Engine running. But nowhere to go. Picture it in your mind's eye. A car. Parked. But the engine is running at full speed. No brake. No neutral. Only gas. How long can this go on? The engine wears. The fuel depletes. The parts strain. The temperature rises. The system endures a great deal before breaking down. The body is the same. Staying on the gas pedal constantly wears it down. Quietly. From the inside. Without asking. And this is exactly why chronically anxious people feel so tired. This is exactly why concentration becomes difficult. This is exactly why sleep won't come, or comes but doesn't restore. The body cannot shift into rest mode. The system won't allow it. Feel your body right now. How is your heart beating? Fast, slow, steady. Just feel, don't try to change anything. Come to your belly. How does your stomach feel? Tight, empty, compressed, or at ease? The digestive system is directly connected to the nervous system. Science calls it the second brain. The enteric nervous system. 100 million nerve cells live in the gut. 100 million. In constant communication with the brain. Affected by emotions. Affected by anxiety. When stress arrives, the stomach feels it. The gut feels it. When someone says, "My stomach knotted up with anxiety," they're not being metaphorical. A real, physiological, nervous system-driven tightening is happening in that moment. The body and brain are in constant conversation. And this conversation is not one-directional. We tend to think the brain gives orders to the body. But the reverse is always happening too. The body sends signals to the brain. When the heart rhythm changes, the brain perceives and interprets this. When breath changes, the brain perceives this. When muscles tighten, the brain perceives this. And these signals directly influence the brain's threat perception. This is something very important. Because it means you can influence the brain through the body. By changing your breathing. By softening your muscles. By shifting your posture. By relaxing your expression. The body influences the brain. And the brain listens to the body. Both directions. Always. There's a concept in science called heart rate variability. Did you know your heart doesn't beat exactly the same number of times every minute? In a healthy heart, the time between beats fluctuates slightly. Sometimes a little faster, sometimes a little slower. This variation happens within milliseconds. Invisible to the eye. But extremely important. This variation shows how flexible the nervous system is. How well it adapts. How quickly it can exit a threat state. How quickly it can return to safety. In chronic anxiety, this variation decreases. The heart settles into a more rigid rhythm. The system loses its ability to respond flexibly. And flexibility is the foundation of everything. What breaks is what is rigid. What is flexible, bends, sways, but does not break. Learning to read the body's signals is one of the deepest parts of this journey. When your stomach hurts, what is that pain really saying? What feeling is waiting there? How long has it been there? When your neck is locked up, how long have you been carrying that weight? What kind of weight? When your chest tightens, what emotion is compressed in there? What does it want to say? When your hands tremble, how much energy is building inside, looking for a way out? The body doesn't hide things. The body is always speaking. We simply haven't learned to listen. Or we learned once and forgot. In the speed of life, hearing the quiet voices grew harder. The body speaks, and we were already running. Scan your body one more time right now. This time with a different quality of attention. Without judgment. Not to fix, to recognize. Without trying to change anything, only to notice. Starting at the top. Forehead. Eyebrows. Eyelids. Cheeks. Jaw. Neck. Shoulders. Arms. Elbows. Wrists. Hands. Fingers. Chest. Heart. Belly. Back. Hips. Thighs. Knees. Calves. Ankles. The soles of your feet. What do you feel in each region? Tension. Lightness. Heaviness. Emptiness. Warmth. Cool. Your body may be trying to tell you something right now. What is it saying? You don't have to respond even if you hear it. Just hear. Just recognize. Awareness itself is a form of healing. When something that wants to be seen is finally seen, something lightens. In this journey, you'll come to know your body again. You'll learn its language. You'll begin to read its signals. Both the moments when it whispers quietly and the moments when it speaks very loudly. The body is not an enemy. The body is trying to protect you. Always, under every circumstance, trying to protect you. In the best ways it knows. And this is truly worth understanding. Take a slow breath. In this breath, a small message for your body: I hear you. I see you. You've been working so hard. The body receives this message. It may not change immediately. It may not soften right away. But it receives it. And every received message is the beginning of something. Still drifting forward. We talked about the body's language. That great autonomic network. The gas and brake pedals. How the body feels and processes everything. But now let's go higher. Into the brain. There, right in the middle, in a dark and quiet corner, the trigger of this entire system is waiting. It's time to meet it. Deep inside the brain, one in each hemisphere, there are two small structures. Almond-shaped. In fact, that's where the name comes from. In Greek, amygdala means almond. Roughly the size of a walnut, perhaps slightly larger. An incredibly small area relative to the brain as a whole. But its power cannot be measured by size. The amygdala is the center of emotional processing. Especially fear. Especially danger. And especially, anxiety. Without the amygdala, there is no threat perception. No fear. And from an evolutionary perspective, survival becomes much harder. The amygdala never sleeps. It works through the night. Even during sleep, it remains open to danger signals. Like a permanent house guest who never quite relaxes, always alert, always listening. Still scanning the environment. Is there a sound? Is something moving? Has anything changed? Is anything dangerous? This is why when you hear a small sound in the middle of the night, you wake instantly. The amygdala is already awake. It processes that sound so quickly that the body has already responded before consciousness arrives. Heart jolted. Breath held. Eyes open. Muscles tensed. Then the thinking brain evaluates, is this actual danger, or just a branch moving in the wind? But the amygdala acted before waiting for that evaluation. It can't wait. In real danger, even a single second is too long. Think of the brain as layered. On the outside, the cortex, the thinking, planning, reasoning brain. Language comes from here. Planning comes from here. Analysis, evaluation, imagination, empathy, all largely operating here. The complex thought system that distinguishes humans from other species lives mostly in this outer layer. At the innermost, most ancient layer, sometimes called the reptilian brain, live the basic functions. Breathing. Heart beating. Sleeping. Waking. Temperature regulation. Evolved millions of years ago. Very reliable. Very simple. Very powerful. And in the middle, between these two worlds, the limbic system. The emotional brain. Where memory and emotion interweave. This is where the amygdala lives. When danger arrives, information travels two different paths. The first path, sensory information, goes directly to the amygdala. Fast, but rough. It doesn't fully process details. It doesn't conduct thorough analysis. It asks only one question, is there danger, or isn't there? And if the answer seems to be yes, action. The second path, the same information goes to the cortex. It analyzes. It evaluates. It builds context. What could this sound mean? Is this situation genuinely dangerous, or does it only appear that way? More accurate, but slower. The amygdala has already acted before the cortex reaches its decision. And this is often life-saving. Like jumping back from an oncoming car before you've thought about it. While the cortex is beginning to assess the situation, the amygdala has already pulled you to the curb. But in chronic anxiety, this system becomes so sensitive that harmless things get processed as danger. Picture it in your mind's eye. A smoke detector. When there's a real fire, it goes off. That's correct. That's necessary. That's what makes it valuable. But sometimes it goes off when you're making toast. When you open the oven. When you're making a hot drink. Sometimes even when nothing is happening at all. An oversensitized smoke detector. Built with the right intentions, but with the threshold set too low. A chronically anxious amygdala works exactly like this. Every wisp of smoke feels like a fire. Every criticism feels like an attack. Every silence feels like a threat. Every uncertainty feels like catastrophe. Every unfinished sentence, every delayed message, every unexpected change. Alarm. Feel your body right now. You know you're safe in this moment. Your mind knows this. But ask your amygdala, does it agree? Maybe it's still scanning for something. Maybe it's still trying not to miss anything. Maybe it's still at its post, on its night watch. Tell your amygdala something, not with words, but with a breath. Take a breath in. Long and deep. And let it out slowly. Extend the exhale. Let it last longer than the inhale. This is one of the most powerful signals you can send to the amygdala. Because breath is the only conscious tool with direct access to the autonomic nervous system. You can't think your heart into slowing. But you can slow your breath. And when breath slows, the nervous system receives the message. We're safe. You can rest. The amygdala doesn't only process fear. It also plays a key role in storing emotional memories. Every experience lived with a strong emotion is flagged by the amygdala. This mattered. Store this. If it happens again, recognize it immediately. This is why you can remember a frightening event in vivid detail years later. This is why when that song plays, you feel like you're living in that moment again. This is why a particular smell takes you instantly back to decades ago. This is why a certain tone of voice makes your whole body respond. The amygdala keeps the archive of emotion. And this archive outlives the moments themselves by far. An anxious amygdala scans this archive constantly. Has this happened before? Did this cause harm? Was this dangerous? Is this familiar? It tries to protect the future by continuously interrogating the past. And that is exhausting work. Work that never stops, never takes a break. But right now, I want to say something important. The amygdala can learn. It can be updated with new information. It can be rewritten through new experiences. Repeated feelings of safety slowly shift the amygdala's threat threshold. This concept is called neuroplasticity. The brain's capacity to reorganize itself. You are not fixed. You are not frozen. Just because this system became oversensitized doesn't mean it has to stay that way forever. The brain learns. At every age. Under every circumstance. Slowly, but genuinely. Close your eyes now, if they aren't already. Think of the inside of your head. In a dark and quiet place, your amygdala is there. Small, almond-shaped, but holding extraordinary power. Right now it's protecting you. Not with bad intentions. Doing its job. Doing it the best way it knows. You're not against it. It's not against you. It's there for you. Always for you. Just sometimes, a little too eager. And understanding this is the first step toward building a different relationship with it. Speaking to anxiety rather than fighting it. The amygdala responds to signals. And you can give it signals of safety. Slow breath. Softening muscles. A familiar and gentle environment. The voice of someone you trust. All of these say the same thing to the amygdala: we are safe right now. You can rest. And the amygdala listens. Maybe not immediately. Slowly. Each time safety is experienced again. But it listens. Take a deep breath. And in that breath, give your amygdala a small gift: safety. Tonight you gave your amygdala something. Stillness. Curiosity. And a small but genuine understanding. These gifts accumulate. Slowly, quietly, imperceptibly they accumulate. And over time, the amygdala responds a little more slowly. Sets off a little fewer alarms. Calms down a little more quickly. Bit by bit. Gradually. But truly. Right now, in this silence. We saw the amygdala's tireless watch. We met that small structure deep in the brain that never rests, never waits. But now the question is this: the amygdala sounded the alarm, the danger signal was sent, and what does the body do? Which response does it choose? How does it try to survive? When faced with danger, the body has a few fundamental response options. These options were written hundreds of thousands of years ago. In an unchangeable code. Carried across species, in a universal language. Run. Fight. Freeze. And a fourth one that's talked about less but is extraordinarily common: appease. The fight response. Stand against the danger. Attack. Push back. Grow stronger. Defend yourself. When the body enters fight mode, blood flows to the large muscles. Fists clench without realizing. The jaw tightens. The voice rises. Tension directs itself outward, toward what faces you. Modern fighting isn't always physical. Suddenly snapping at someone. Reacting too strongly to something very small. Becoming irritated quickly, angry quickly. Going on the defensive, struggling to win an argument no matter what. Slamming a door. Carrying someone's one remark for a long, long time. These things are often labeled as bad temper or difficult personality. But perhaps they are the nervous system shifting into fight mode. Danger was perceived, the body is trying to protect itself. The flight response. Get away from there. Move away from danger. Act to survive, put distance between yourself and the threat. Modern flight isn't always physical. Diving into social media for hours. Suddenly abandoning a piece of work. Remaining emotionally disconnected from a relationship, physically present but inwardly far away. Declining invitations. Staying so busy, so constantly occupied that the anxious voice can't keep up. But it always keeps up. Because what's being fled is inside. What's being fled lives inside the body. And the body always comes along. The freeze response. Do nothing. Stay exactly where you are. Don't be seen. Make yourself small. Disappear. Like a deer freezing in headlights. The body isn't shutting down, it's waiting. Assessing. Buying time. Sometimes the safest option is to stay still. The predator may not notice what doesn't move. Modern freezing, being unable to make decisions. Making lists but never being able to start. Being unable to get out of bed for hours. wanting to respond but leaving the message. Looking at the phone again and again and setting it down. Wanting to do something and being unable to do anything. Freezing is not laziness. Freezing is the nervous system's survival response. A valid response. A response with its own logic. The fourth response, appease. Rather than fleeing or fighting, adapting. Doing whatever the other person seems to want. Avoiding conflict at any cost. Apologizing constantly. Being unable to say no. Being unable to set limits. Always placing other people's needs before your own. Making everyone else's happiness a prerequisite for your own. This too is a survival response. It develops especially in childhood, during periods when the environment felt very powerful and unpredictable. If I keep everyone happy, I can be safe. A logical belief, for that time. But this belief travels into adulthood. And continues operating even in places where it no longer serves. Quietly. Automatically. Picture it in your mind's eye. A deer. Grazing peacefully in a field. Sun out, no wind, no danger. Then a sound. A movement. Far away, but there. The entire system engages in that instant. Ears rotate forward. Muscles tighten. Breath holds. Eyes widen. The whole body asks a single question, danger, or not. The deer waits. Assesses. If danger has passed, it moves on, continues. If it hasn't, it runs. And after the danger has passed, this is a very important moment, the deer shakes its body trembling. From head to tail. Shuddering. Quivering. This trembling is the nervous system's release mechanism. The way it discharges the energy that built up during the response. Muscles contract one final time and let go. Hormones are released. The system clears. Then, it returns to its normal life. Grazing. Walking. Resting. Not as if nothing happened. Having genuinely processed, at the level of the nervous system, exactly what did happen. This is where humans struggle. When danger passes, the body is still trembling, still tensed. But we often try to get a hold of ourselves. We hold our trembling hands still. We swallow when we want to cry. We stop when we want to run. We go quiet when we want to shout. And that nervous system energy has nowhere to go. It stays inside the body. It folds in. It accumulates. It is stored. It becomes a weight that will emerge one day, in another moment, in another form. The deer knows how to release. We, mostly, learned how to hold. Take a slow breath. And ask yourself a curious question. No obligation. No judgment. What is your first response when you're under stress? Do you get angry quickly? Do you engage in conflict? This could be fight. Do you want to get away, stay busy, escape? This could be flight. Do you freeze up, find it hard to make decisions? This could be freeze. Do you try to please everyone? Do you lose your limits? This could be appease. All of them are valid. All of them are logical. All of them worked at some point. All of them, at some time, protected you. When the body produces these responses, a great deal changes. Cortisol and adrenaline release. The heart speeds up. Breath shifts. Blood flow redistributes. Digestion slows. The immune system is partially suppressed. The body channels resources toward short-term survival, putting long-term processes on hold. And if these responses are chronically activated, the body remains in chronic change. The body expects recovery after every alarm. Expects rest. Expects repair. But if recovery never comes, the system slowly wears down. Small things feel large. Large things feel unbearable. Feel the traces of these responses in your body right now. How are your shoulders? How is your jaw? How is your stomach? Is there tension or a clenched feeling anywhere in your hands? Which region feels like it's holding more? Which region resists letting go? Just notice, without judgment. The body is telling you something. I'm here. I'm working. See me. Understanding all these responses is not for fighting them. It's for recognizing them. For seeing that they have meaning. For understanding that they made complete sense once. Perhaps still make sense sometimes. The body is not deceiving you. The body is doing what it knows best. And right now you're saying to it, I see you. I understand. We are safe right now. Danger passes. It always passes. Sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. Sometimes very slowly. But it passes. And the body can learn safety. Can remember safety. Can store safety. Just as it stored danger. With the same capacity. With the same care. Right now, in this silence. The body is safe. The voice is familiar. The surface is holding you. Breath comes and goes. This moment is safe. The body is recording this. Quietly. Imperceptibly. But recording it. And every recorded moment of safety is a small but real change. Still drifting forward. We explored the responses. Fight, freeze, run, appease. We felt how the body navigates between these options. But now let's go one step deeper. What do those responses look like inside the body? What signals, what symptoms do they become? Because anxiety has a very clear, very physical, very real language in the body. And understanding this language can change everything. The heart races. This is perhaps the most recognized symptom of anxiety. That strong, fast, sometimes irregular rhythm in your chest. Sometimes you wake with it in the middle of the night. Sometimes it starts in the middle of a meeting. Sometimes in a completely quiet moment, a moment that seems to have no reason at all. And this sensation creates panic. Is something wrong with my heart? Is this normal? Why does it keep doing this? Yes. It's normal. The stress hormone adrenaline directly affects the heart. It causes it to beat faster and stronger. Because the body is sending the heart a command, pump more blood to the muscles. Fighting or fleeing requires oxygen. Oxygen is carried by blood. Blood is pumped by the heart. The heart is not betraying you. The heart is doing its job. In the best way it knows, at exactly the right moment. Breath changes. It grows shallow. It speeds up. Sometimes breathing feels difficult. I can't get enough air. And here's something interesting, this feeling often comes from the exact opposite. During anxiety, people tend to breathe more than necessary. Fast and shallow. This is called hyperventilation. Hyperventilation sends more oxygen than normal into the blood and less carbon dioxide than normal. This imbalance triggers other things. Tingling in the hands and feet. Dizziness. Numbness in the lips. Sometimes a feeling of pressure in the chest. And these things increase the anxiety. Why are my hands tingling? What's happening to me? Am I getting worse? A cycle begins. Anxiety leads to fast breathing. Fast breathing leads to physical symptoms. Physical symptoms lead to more anxiety. More anxiety leads to faster breathing. The cycle feeds itself. Picture it in your mind's eye. Two people, side by side. Same room, same moment. One breathing slowly, deeply, calmly. The other breathing quickly, shallow, from the chest. Several minutes pass. The calm breather, heart slows. The nervous system receives a safe signal. Muscles soften. The mind begins to clear. Threat perception drops. The fast breather, blood gases shift. The body maintains alarm mode. Muscle tension increases. The mind stays focused on danger. Small things look large. Only the breath. And such a significant difference. Muscles tighten and hold. In danger mode, the body sends the muscles a ready command. Shoulders rise. The neck locks up. The jaw clenches. Hands make fists without realizing. Abdominal muscles tighten. The forehead contracts. And when this tension stays for a long time, pain develops. Headaches. Neck pain. Back pain. Shoulder pain. Jaw pain. Sometimes a feeling of pressure behind the eyes. Many people with chronic anxiety deal with these pains as well. And often wonder, I didn't do anything physical, why do I hurt so much? The answer lies in the nervous system. The body is working intensely, invisibly, but intensely. Constantly tensing. Constantly holding. And that holding energy becomes pain somewhere. Feel your shoulders right now. Are they pulled up? Lifted toward your ears? Most people's shoulders stay elevated through much of the day. Without realizing. The quiet physical expression of alarm mode. Pull them up now, breathe in, and let them drop as you breathe out. Completely. Away from the ears. Feel the right side of your neck. The left side. Tilt gently to one side. Slowly straighten. The body expends energy constantly to hold this tension. Letting go means beginning to rest. The stomach and digestive system speak too. In stress mode, the digestive system is moved to the background. Because the body knows digestion isn't necessary when running from a predator. Energy goes toward dealing with the danger, long-term processes wait. This causes nausea, stomach pain, diarrhea or, conversely, constipation. Disruption of the digestive system. Digestion slows, stops, becomes irregular. My stomach gets queasy before exams. Stress messes up my digestion. These are real, physical, nervous system-driven responses. A product of that two-way conversation between the brain and the gut. Cold hands and sweating. These two can happen simultaneously and seem contradictory. But both are part of the same system. In stress mode, blood moves away from the periphery, hands, feet, skin, toward the large muscles. This causes hands to grow cold, toes to grow numb. But at the same time, the palms may sweat. Stress sweat is different from heat sweat. Sharper. Different chemical composition. Because it's produced for a different purpose, to improve grip while fleeing or fighting. To hold on to what needs holding. Cold hands and wet palms at the same time. The body preparing in two directions at once. Think about your body right now. When you feel anxious, what happens first? The heart. The stomach. The hands. The neck. The forehead. Everybody's anxiety language is a little different. Some start with palpitations, some with the stomach, some with the muscles. Drawing your own map is part of knowing yourself. No judgment. This is simply reading your own body. And now the most critical thing I want to say. Most of these symptoms are the result of anxiety, not the cause. Heart palpitations aren't making you sick. Heart palpitations are part of the body's response to perceived danger. The symptom itself is not the danger. Distinguishing this is very important. Because anxious people often respond to these symptoms with more anxiety. The heart raced, I got anxious. I got anxious, the heart raced more. It raced more, I got more anxious. The cycle feeds itself. And breaking this cycle begins with one thing, seeing the symptom as a signal rather than a threat. Instead of, my heart is racing, there is an alarm in my body, it's trying to protect me. Instead of, I can't breathe, my nervous system has activated, it's in high alert right now. Instead of, everything is going to fall apart, threat perception is very high right now, this is a feeling that is being felt. This looks like a small language shift. But it says something very different to the mind. Because the second set of phrases means staying in the observer position. Not getting lost inside the feeling, but seeing the feeling from a slight distance. And the observer position feels a little safer. Allows a little more breath. While producing these symptoms, the body is working very hard. The heart is working. The lungs are working. The muscles are working. The stomach is working. All of them, for you. All of them trying to protect you. And while the body works this hard, maybe a little gratitude is possible. I see you. You've been working so hard. We are safe right now. Take a deep breath. This time a little slower. A little deeper. Send the breath toward the belly. Let the belly rise first, then the chest. What is your heart doing right now? Did it slow down just slightly? Maybe. Maybe just a small thing. But even that small thing is a message reaching the nervous system. We're safe right now. You can begin to rest. Right now, in this silence. We felt how anxiety takes shape in the body. The heart, the breath, the muscles, the stomach. We recognize the logic behind every symptom. But now let's travel through something that connects all of this together. A long, quiet, extraordinarily mysterious path. The vagus nerve. Among all the nerves working in your body, the vagus nerve is the longest and most complex. It begins at the base of the brain. It descends through the neck. It branches into the heart. The lungs. The stomach. The intestines. The liver. The spleen. All the way to the depths of the abdominal cavity. Its Latin name is nervus vagus, the wandering nerve. Vagus means wanderer in Latin. And it truly behaves like a wanderer, visiting many regions of the body, collecting information from everywhere, carrying messages everywhere. Its journey never ends. This wanderer carries the greatest communication highway between the brain and the body. Consider this. More than roughly 80% of the information carried by the vagus nerve travels from the body to the brain. Not signals the brain sends to the body, signals the body sends to the brain. 80%. Nearly all of it. The body constantly sends messages to the brain. There is danger. I'm safe. I'm tired. Digestion is going well. The heart has sped up. The stomach is tense. The breath has deepened. And the brain listens to these signals. Threat perception is largely based on these signals. The vagus nerve is the main line of this communication. The long, quiet highway between the brain and the inner world. There's a concept called vagal tone. It shows how actively and flexibly the vagus nerve is working. High vagal tone means the nervous system can quickly adapt to stress. The alarm engages when needed. The alarm disengages when danger passes. The transition is fast and smooth. The system can both tighten and release. Low vagal tone means, this transition cannot happen. It enters stress but cannot exit. Opens the alarm but cannot close it. Finds the gas pedal but cannot find the brake. There is a very strong connection between chronic anxiety and low vagal tone. They feed each other. Anxiety lowers vagal tone. Low vagal tone increases anxiety. But here's the beautiful thing. Vagal tone can be developed. This is not a fixed, unchangeable quality. It changes with practice. It grows with time. And the simplest, most accessible tool, breath. The vagus nerve passes through the neck. Slow, deep breathing, especially a long exhale, directly stimulates this nerve. Extending the exhale increases vagal tone, engages the parasympathetic system, slows the heart, and calms the system. Let's feel this now. Breathe in for 4 counts. Slowly. From the belly. Now breathe out for 6 or 8 counts. Even more slowly. Empty completely. Again. Breathe in for 4. Breathe out for 6. One more time. Do you feel it? Is your heart rhythm shifting slightly? Are your shoulders dropping gently? Is there a softening in the jaw? This is a signal being sent to the vagus nerve. Safe. You can rest. The vagus nerve is also connected to the social engagement system. Tone of voice. Facial expression. Eye contact. Touch. These affect the vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve affects these. A two-way conversation. Have you ever wondered why you relax when you hear the voice of someone you love? Why you breathe more easily when you're in the same room as someone you trust? Why something seems to resolve when someone truly looks at you, truly listens to you? The vagus nerve is processing that connection. People can calm each other's nervous systems. Biologically. Physiologically. Genuinely. Picture it in your mind's eye. Embracing someone. Truly embracing them, not hurriedly, but letting yourself go. After those first few seconds, how the muscles soften. How the breath deepens. How the heart slows. This isn't only emotional. This is the nervous system regulating itself. Touch stimulates the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve engages the parasympathetic system. And the body returns for a moment. Returns to a safer place. Singing also affects the vagus nerve. The vocal cords pass through the neck. And the vibration of sound makes direct contact with the vagus nerve. When vagal tone is measured in people who sing in choirs, the values come out elevated. Singing together, connecting, and regulating the nervous system, all happening at once. Even humming is sometimes enough. Even silently holding a melody inside, rocking it gently within. Cold water also activates the vagus nerve. Submerging the face in cold water triggers the diving reflex in mammals. This reflex directly stimulates the vagus nerve and lowers heart rate. Holding the face under cold water during a moment of panic is a scientific response. Not particularly poetic, but it works. Quickly. Let's give the vagus nerve something right now. Breathe in. Long and deep. As you breathe out, let a soft vibration come from inside. You don't have to make it out loud. Lips closed, the sound inside, but let there be a vibration. Feel it in the throat. Let it spread into the chest. One more time. In. Out. Vibrate. This vibration directly stimulates the vagus nerve. Just like singing. Just like humming. Simple, but real. There's a concept called polyvagal theory. Developed by neuroscientist Stephen Porges, this theory describes the vagus nerve in a much more complex and layered way. The vagus nerve has two different branches. The first, the ventral vagal branch, the newer evolutionary branch. When this branch is active, the social engagement system is running. Facial expressions form. The voice takes on fine-tuning. Eye contact is made. The body feels safe and connected. The best learning, the best connection, the best healing happens in this mode. The second, the dorsal vagal branch, a much older evolutionary branch. When this branch is active, the freeze response engages. The body shuts down. Withdraws. Goes numb. Connection is severed. This is the body's last line of defense in extreme danger. And in the middle, the sympathetic system, fight and flight. A healthy nervous system can make fluid transitions between these three modes. Alarm when in danger. Social connection when danger passes. Freeze in extreme danger. In anxiety, these transitions become difficult. The system cannot stay in its most optimal mode. But this theory also says something else. Healing happens through safe social connection. A safe relationship, a safe environment, a safe voice, these activate the ventral vagal system. And when the ventral vagal system is active, learning is possible. Connection is possible. Change is possible. This is why therapy works. This is why talking to someone you trust works. This is why this voice, this stillness, this night, is touching something. Feel your body right now. Think of the vagus nerve. Starting at the base of your brain. Passing through your neck. Reaching your heart. Extending to your stomach. Into your depths. This nerve is working right now. For you. To connect you. To regulate you. And you are helping it right now. With slow breath. With this stillness. With this gentleness. The vagus nerve is perhaps the most important stop on this journey. In anxiety research, in nervous system regulation, in depression treatment, the vagus nerve is occupying an increasingly central place. Vagus nerve stimulation is even used as a clinical treatment method in some countries. But the simplest vagus stimulation, the most accessible of all, is breath. That tool that is always with you. This long, quiet, wandering nerve, may carry one of the most powerful paths to healing. And that path is always with you. In every breath. In every vibration. In every genuine connection. Take a deep breath. And in that breath, give the vagus nerve a small thank you. Not with words. Just with a breath. This journey continues. And so do you. Still drifting forward. We traveled the vagus nerve's long, quiet path. We felt that great communication highway between brain and body. But now let's go even deeper. Into understanding what the body stores, how it stores it, and why it stores it. Because the body remembers. It remembers everything. The things the mind has forgotten. The things that couldn't be put into words. The moments that feel like they happened in another lifetime. Think of a scene. When you were small, you approached a dog. The dog suddenly barked, lunged, you startled. Maybe you cried. Maybe you were very frightened. As you grew older, you forgot that moment. Maybe you can no longer recall the details. The color of the dog, what the day was like, where you were, it blurs. But when you see a dog, your heart speeds up. You take a small step back without realizing. Your muscles tighten. You pull your hands away without meaning to. Why? Because your mind may have forgotten. But the body did not. The body knows exactly what happened. And the body is ready for next time. Stress and trauma are stored inside the body. This is not a metaphorical statement. This genuinely happens, physiologically. Every experience lived with a strong emotion is flagged by the amygdala. This mattered. Store this. If it happens again, recognize it immediately. And the body, in some way, records the muscle tension of that moment, its breathing pattern, its heart rhythm, its general posture. At the cellular level. At the level of neural connections. At the level of muscle memory. Years later, when a similar feeling or situation arrives, the body plays that recording. Without a conscious decision. Automatically. Because the body wants to be ready. Picture it in your mind's eye. A large, quiet library. But this library doesn't store books. It stores feelings. Every shelf is an experience. Every experience is a set of muscle tensions, a breathing pattern, a heart rhythm, a momentary bodily state. And when the right shelf is triggered, the body automatically opens that set of feelings. You're not making a conscious decision. You're not choosing. It simply happens. And sometimes you don't even understand why you feel this way. You say, why did that affect me so much? Because the answer isn't in the mind, it's in the body. This is why it matters so much. Because many people think, that was in childhood. That relationship ended. That job is behind me. Years have passed. Why does it still affect me this much? Because the body continues to hold exactly what hasn't quite passed. The mind may have closed the file. The body still holds it open. Still waiting. Still protecting. And this is not weakness. This is the body doing what it knows best, protect. Under every circumstance, in every condition, protect. This is called somatic memory. Soma means body in Greek. The memory held by the body. A memory that is wordless, imageless, sometimes even unconscious. This memory can surface in very different forms. An unexpected discomfort when entering a certain position. The entire body tensing instantly when hearing a particular sound. Suddenly feeling as though you are in a different moment when a certain smell arrives. A pulling away, a wish to withdraw, when a particular kind of touch arrives. These are not exaggerations. These are not being too sensitive. These are somatic memory working. The outward expression of what the body knows, what it has learned. Take a slow breath. And notice this, your body is working very hard to hold this memory. Every tension is spending energy to hold something. Every clenched jaw is working to close something. Every rounded shoulder is tightened to protect something. Every tight stomach is still processing something. When this is recognized, perhaps a little compassion arrives toward the body. A compassion that sees all this invisible work. The body has worked so hard. Has held so much. Has protected so much. And usually without any acknowledgement at all. The clinician and author Bessel van der Kolk's work has left deep traces in this field. The body keeps the score, he says. That trauma, stress, and fear remain recorded inside the body. That these records cannot always be reached simply by talking with the mind. Because these records live beneath words, beneath thoughts, in a much older place. This is why some people talk for years and still feel like something is remaining exactly where it was. Because the words haven't reached the body yet. The body needs its own language. Is it possible to release the body's memory? Yes. But this isn't only a mental process. Simply saying, "I've moved past this, I'm fine," often isn't enough. The body also wants to be convinced. The body also wants to feel safe. Repeatedly. Again and again. And the body is convinced through movement. Through sensation. Through breath. Through touch. Through safe relationships. Through repeated experiences of safety. Over time. During yoga sessions, people sometimes experience tears that seem to come from nowhere. During massage, sometimes trembling happens. During a particular movement, a feeling suddenly rises to the surface. These are the body's moments of release. Small, quiet, but real releases. Scan your body right now. Which region feels like it's holding more? Shoulders. Chest. Belly. Neck. Lower back. Send breath to that region, not literally, but in your mind. In your mind's eye, the breath travels to that region. It expands. It warms. It softens. If it allows, it opens just slightly. It doesn't have to release right now. Nothing is forced. Attention alone is enough for now. Attention itself is the beginning of release. When something that wants to be seen is finally seen, something lets go. There's research that stays with me. In studies with people experiencing chronic pain, a large portion of the pain is found to originate not in the muscles but in the nervous system. The body had prepared against danger, tightened, gone into alarm state. And this alarm expressed itself as physical pain. When the nervous system calms, the pain also decreases. Not always. Not immediately. But it decreases. The body truly listens. Truly responds. Truly changes. The body is not an enemy. The body has protected you. It held this memory not to hurt you but to keep you from being hurt again. And showing compassion to the body that carries this memory, may be the deepest form of healing. Because compassion sends the brain a new message. We don't have to fight anymore. I know we're safe right now. I am at peace with you. Before we leave this chapter, I want to say one thing. Everything the body holds right now can become lighter over time. It can be released. The nervous system can reorganize. This might be a long road. Sometimes very long. Sometimes progress is invisible. But invisible progress is also real. And you have already started. By listening to this voice. By choosing to enter this stillness. By allowing this night. Starting is already so much. Still drifting forward. We saw what the body holds, how it stores things. We recognize that invisible archive the body protects. But now let's ask this: what happens when this state of alertness has been going on for a very long time? When the alarm doesn't ring only sometimes but most of the time. When the body has been chronically in stress mode, not for days, not months, but years. This state has a name. Hypervigilance. Being constantly on guard. Hypervigilance is anxiety's chronified state. The danger has passed, but the body won't leave danger mode. The alarm was given, but the system forgot how to calm down. Or won't allow itself to calm down. Or has come to believe that calming down itself might be dangerous. Because, if I lower my guard, I might get caught. And this state is usually invisible from the outside. A person who is constantly on guard can appear fine from the outside. They keep going. They can smile. They can talk. They function. But inside, they're constantly working. Constantly scanning. Constantly calculating. Constantly preparing. This is exhausting work. Invisible but very exhausting. The everyday appearances of hypervigilance are surprisingly common. Startling excessively at small sounds. A door slamming, a phone ringing, someone suddenly entering, the response is too large, too quick. The brain has already said, danger. Always thinking of the worst-case scenario. What if it gets worse? What if it doesn't work? What if I disappoint someone? The mind automatically goes to the worst possibility. And stays there. Being unable to truly relax. Being unable to fully rest even on vacation. Wondering, why can't I relax, I'm on vacation. Because the body didn't go on vacation. The body operates independently of the mind's decisions. Being on guard even in close relationships. Constantly reading a partner's tone of voice, facial expression, gaze. Are they angry? Are they disappointed? Has something changed? Interpreting small signals in exaggerated ways. Reading a silence as catastrophe. Feeling compelled to always be productive. Sitting still feels uncomfortable. I should be doing something. Because the system doesn't know how to rest. Rest feels foreign. Even dangerous. When the nervous system stays in stress mode constantly, what happens? Cortisol, the stress hormone, remains chronically elevated. Cortisol is life-saving in the short term. It gives energy. It enables focus. It channels bodily resources toward emergency situations. But the long-term picture changes. Sleep quality deteriorates. Cortisol is programmed to keep you awake. When cortisol doesn't drop sufficiently at night in a chronically stressed body, deep sleep decreases. REM shortens. Waking up exhausted. The immune system weakens. People under chronic stress catch colds more easily. They recover from infections more slowly. The healing process extends. Memory is affected. Storing new information can become more difficult. The question, "Why am I forgetting so much?" is actually the nervous system's answer. Neurotransmitters that regulate mood lose their balance. Serotonin, dopamine, GABA, these fluctuate over time under chronic stress. And these fluctuations lay the groundwork for depression, irritability, and loss of motivation. Digestion is disrupted. The gut microbiome changes. Considering that much of immunity resides in the gut, this connection becomes even more significant. Picture it in your mind's eye. The accumulated fatigue inside a muscle. A muscle that runs, lifts, jumps without resting. Through the night too. Never. After a while, the muscle can no longer correctly read its own signals. Which pain is real danger, which pain is just normal fatigue, distinguishing between them becomes difficult. Everything feels like an alarm. Because the whole system is tired. The body is the same. Under chronic stress, the body's own signals blur. When is there genuine danger, when is just an old alarm ringing, distinguishing between them grows harder and harder. Allostatic load, this is what it's called. Allostasis means the body's adaptation to changing conditions. Every day we adapt to stress. Every day we carry something. An allostatic load is the cumulative mark left on the body when this adaptation continues for a long time. The body lifts the weight of stress every day. Every day it strains a little more. It doesn't fully repair at night. Morning begins with a little more load. When the load accumulates, everything feels heavier. Small things feel large. Large things feel unbearable. And why did such a small thing affect me so much, is actually a question about accumulation. That small thing was the last drop. Take a slow breath. And if you want, be honest with yourself. No obligation. No judgment. How long have you been feeling this way? A long time. A very long time. The answer to this question doesn't require blame. This is recognition. Simply seeing. Ah. So it's been this long. Being seen is already a beginning. Why does hypervigilance develop? Usually prolonged stress. Chronic uncertainty. An unpredictable environment. A period of receiving inconsistent responses. Events that couldn't be controlled. A place that felt unsafe. The body learns this: if I lower my attention, I might face danger. If I stay ready at all times, I'll be safer. This belief made sense at one point. The body developed it as a form of protection. And it worked, for that time. But that danger is gone now. The body just still knows that lesson. Still applies it. Because no one told it, it's over now, you're safe. Or someone did, but the body hasn't quite believed it yet. Chronic anxiety and hypervigilance are not the person's fault. This is not a character weakness. Not a personality problem. Not being too sensitive. Not being unable to pull yourself together. This is the nervous system's capacity to adapt to what was experienced. A very intelligent, very careful, very devoted adaptation. But at some point it stops serving. And I also want to say this. That same sensitivity, when experienced in a safe environment, can transform over time into noticing beauty. Into deepening empathy. Into understanding other people's feelings. Into finding meaning in small moments. Into noticing things others cannot see. Sensitivity carries both burden and gift. At the same time. Always. Feel the traces of hypervigilance in your body right now. How are your eyes? Strained, tense, tired. How is your forehead? Are the eyebrows pulled together, without your knowing? Feel your jaw. Is it holding? Shoulders. Neck. Hands. Tell them now, not with words, but with a breath, we are safe right now. You can rest. They might not let go immediately. But the message is going. Tonight, for the body that has been constantly on guard, we can do one small thing. Tell it, I hear you. I know. You have worked so hard. Not with words. Just with this stillness. This slow breath. This dark. The body receives this message. It may not change right away. It may not calm right away. But it receives it. And every moment of receiving is a small but real step. Still drifting forward. We saw the body that has been constantly on guard. We recognize that invisible weight it has been carrying for so long. But now, there is a door. This door is always with you. Every moment, everywhere, without any tools, without any permission, without any conditions, a door that can be opened. Breath. Breath is the only tool that can consciously access the autonomic nervous system. Sit with this for a moment. You cannot think your heart into slowing. Even if you try. You cannot consciously control your digestion. You cannot adjust your blood pressure moment by moment. You cannot make your pupils dilate and contract yourself. But breath, you can change. Whenever you want. At whatever speed you want. At whatever depth you want. In whatever rhythm you want. And when breath changes, the autonomic nervous system changes. The heart changes. The muscles change. The brain signals change. All of it. Why is it so powerful? Breath is the only function that is both automatic and consciously controllable. It continues on its own while you sleep. It will continue until the very end. The brain controls this, even when you're not. Even when consciousness is gone, breath continues. But when you choose, you can slow it. Speed it up. Hold it. Deepen it. This is a special door into the autonomic nervous system. And this door is always open. Not locked. No key needed. No appointment necessary. The diaphragm. The large, dome-shaped muscle that separates the abdominal cavity from the chest cavity. When taking a deep breath, the diaphragm pulls downward. It creates space for the lungs. The lower lungs begin to fill. The belly gently moves forward and downward. When breathing shallowly, only the chest rises. The diaphragm moves very little. The lower portions of the lungs, where the best gas exchange happens, barely get ventilated at all. And this difference creates a very large effect on the nervous system. Diaphragmatic breathing, deep, belly-centered breathing, directly stimulates the vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve engages the parasympathetic system. The brake pedal is applied. The system begins to calm. Slowly, but genuinely. Let's do this together now. Place one hand on your belly. The other on your chest. Take a breath. Which hand rises? If the chest hand rises, shallow breathing. Normal. Most of us breathe this way, especially under stress. If the belly hand rises, diaphragmatic breathing. This is the one. Now try to let your belly expand as you breathe in. Let the belly hand move. Keep the chest hand as still as you can. Let the belly rise. Swell. Expand. As if you're filling a balloon. Not the chest, the belly. It might feel difficult at first. Because most of us are accustomed to breathing from the chest. Under stress the diaphragm tightens. And breathing deeply with a tightened diaphragm becomes harder. But it comes with practice. Each time, a little easier. The exhale is more powerful than the inhale. This is very important information. When breathing in, the heart speeds up slightly. When breathing out, the heart slows slightly. This is a small rhythm happening with every breath. Always. It's called respiratory sinus arrhythmia. Normal, healthy, constant. This means extending the exhale equals slowing the heart equals engaging the parasympathetic system equals calming the nervous system. A practical rule, the exhale should be longer than the inhale. Breathe in for 4 counts. Breathe out for 6 or 8 counts. Or 5 and 8. Or 6 and 9. The numbers don't matter. The ratio matters. The exhale, longer than the inhale. Let's try this now. Breathe in for 4 counts, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now breathe out for 6 counts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Once more. 4 in. 6 out. And one more time. Do you feel it? Is the heart rhythm shifting slightly? Are the shoulders dropping just a little? Is there a softening in the jaw? This seems small. But the nervous system is receiving this signal. We slowed down. We're safe. Another technique, box breathing. Breathe in for 4 counts. Hold for 4 counts. Breathe out for 4 counts. Wait for 4 counts. And again. This technique works especially well during panic, during surges of anxiety. It draws the nervous system into a rhythm. And rhythm feels like safety. Regularity, predictability, the body loves these. Order signals, no danger here. Picture it in your mind's eye. Ocean waves. Reaching the shore, pulling back, coming, going. Without stopping. Without asking. In a natural rhythm, in an endless cycle. Breath is exactly like this. Coming in, going out. Bringing something when it comes. Taking something when it goes. Every breath a small renewal. Every breath a small release. Every breath a new chance. Breath can break the anxiety cycle. Anxiety leads to fast breathing. Fast breathing leads to physical symptoms. Physical symptoms lead to more anxiety. More anxiety leads to faster breathing. But you can intervene right in the middle of this cycle. Consciously slow the breath. Not with pressure. Not with force. Gently. Forcing creates its own stress. Say, slow down, to your breath, inwardly. And breath listens. It may not always listen immediately. But it listens. Breath and sound used together deepen the effect. During a long exhale, letting out an ah or sound directly stimulates the vagus nerve. The vocal cords vibrate. The vibration passes through the neck. The vagus nerve feels this vibration. You can do this inwardly as well. It doesn't have to be out loud. Lips closed, the sound inside, but let there be a vibration. Felt in the throat, spreading into the chest. Take a breath. Let it out. And as it goes, an inner MMM. Can you feel that vibration? Breath isn't only for moments of anxiety. When practiced every day, regularly, the change becomes much deeper. A few minutes of conscious breathing in the morning. A few minutes before sleep at night. 3 deep breaths in the middle of a stressful moment. During traffic. Before a difficult meeting. Before picking up the phone. Before a hard conversation begins. As these small moments accumulate, vagal tone slowly increases. The nervous system grows increasingly flexible. It calms more quickly. It sounds fewer alarms. It recovers more readily. The power of breath comes not from large moments but from small, consistent ones. Right now, notice one thing. Breath is not stopping. It continues while you sleep. While you cry. While you're frightened. While you laugh. While you think. While you feel. Such a close companion with you. Every moment. Every second. Without leaving for even an instant. And this companion keeps that door open every moment. You can enter whenever you want. Always. Unconditionally. Let's take one last breath together right now. 4 counts, breathe in. 6 counts, breathe out. And let go. Just let go. The body knows how to breathe. It always knew. Sometimes it just needs a gentle reminder. Right now, in this silence. We passed through breath's hidden door. We felt the diaphragm, we stimulated the vagus nerve, we slowed the system down just a little. But breath is only one tool. And for the nervous system to truly return to safety, there is more. Tonight, let's pass through other doors. How does the nervous system learn safety? Through repeated experiences. The nervous system isn't convinced by abstract reassurance. It doesn't calm down with everything is fine. It doesn't change with a voice saying, don't worry. But with felt safety, it changes. The moments when the body genuinely feels safe, physically, relationally, environmentally safe, slowly restructure the nervous system over time. Gradually. Quietly. But truly. Movement regulates the nervous system. But there's an important distinction here. Under chronic stress, very intense exercise can sometimes backfire. The body is already producing too much cortisol. Intense exercise can trigger even more. The system can become more strained. The movement types most effective for the nervous system are usually rhythmic and moderate in intensity. Walking. Slow jogging. Dancing. Swimming. Cycling. Walking in particular, is a bilateral movement. Left-right, left-right. This bilateral rhythm coordinates the brain's 2 hemispheres. It increases communication between the left and right sides. And this coordination has a powerful effect on nervous system regulation. While walking, you're also scanning the environment. Eyes moving. Ears processing. Feet meeting the ground. This whole body activation helps the brain receive the message, I am safe and active right now. Nature calms the nervous system. This might sound like a cliché. But the scientific evidence is very strong. Spending time in green spaces and natural environments lowers cortisol levels. Slows heart rate. Lowers blood pressure. Rests the attentional system. Increases creativity. In Japan, they call it Shinrin-yoku, forest bathing. Simply walking slowly through a forest. Smelling. Hearing. Touching. Just being there. The brain evolved in natural environments over millions of years. Trees, water, soil, wind, birdsong, these send the brain a very ancient message: this environment is safe. You can rest. And the brain listens. Picture it in your mind's eye. Walking through a forest. The sound of dry leaves under your feet. Light filtering through leaves above. The scent of soil and moisture. A gentle wind moving through the trees, touching your face. How does your body feel right now, imagining this? Perhaps it softened slightly. Perhaps just the imagining shifted something. The brain also receives signals from remembered safe environments. The line between what is real and what is remembered is sometimes very thin. Creative activities regulate the nervous system. Music, painting, writing, crafts, gardening, cooking. These are seen as hobbies. But neurologically, they're doing something much deeper. Becoming absorbed in a creative activity, this is called a flow state, puts the nervous system into a special mode of regulation. Not full alarm mode, not full rest mode. A kind of focused peace. The mind is occupied but not searching for threats. The hands are working but not fighting. And this state, over time, becomes a new safety condition that the nervous system learns. This is also safe. This is also possible. Co-regulation, calming together. This is a very important concept. People affect each other's nervous systems. This is not metaphor. It's physiology. Simply sitting quietly in the same room as someone you trust lowers cortisol levels. Being near someone breathing calmly, calms your own breath. Hearing the laugh of someone you trust stimulates the vagus nerve. Someone's voice, their tone, their rhythm, affects the nervous system. This is why loneliness strains the nervous system more. And this is why a safe relationship, a safe connection, is real medicine for the nervous system. Babies make this very clear. A crying infant calms when it hears its mother's voice. When contact is made, the heart rhythm regulates. Co-regulation is a system present from the moment we're born. It continues into adulthood. We just notice it less. Safety signals are everywhere. A warm cup of tea. A familiar piece of music. Soft light. A beloved scent. The voice of someone you trust. The closeness of an animal. The weight of a heavy blanket. These seem like small things. But the nervous system receives these signals. Familiar environment. No danger. You can rest. And as these moments of rest accumulate, the system slowly changes. The threat threshold rises. The alarm sounds later. Calming becomes easier. Take a slow breath. And think, when does your body feel most safe? In what environment? With whom? During what activity? What sound, scent, texture? At what hour? Even thinking about these things does something to the nervous system. Because when the brain recalls a safe experience, it also produces a safety signal. These moments are medicine for the nervous system. Prescription-free, side effect-free, always accessible medicine. One more thing. While the nervous system is learning safety, sometimes a strange feeling arises. The discomfort of relaxing. Why does feeling this safe feel so foreign? If you've been living on high alert for a long time, safety can feel genuinely unfamiliar. Like something is wrong. This can't be right. I should be waiting for something. Everything could change in an instant. This is normal. The nervous system doesn't initially trust a state it doesn't recognize. Safety hasn't been practiced as much as danger has, not yet. But this feeling passes. As safety experiences accumulate, the strangeness decreases. Safety begins to become familiar. Picture it in your mind's eye. Walking into a dark room for the first time. You can't see anything. The eyes slowly adapt. 15 minutes later you can see quite well in that same darkness. The environment didn't change. But you did. Adapting to safety is like this. It takes time. It takes repetition. It takes patience. But it happens. Right now, give your body safety. This moment. Just this moment. Take a breath. Slowly let it go. Listen to the sounds around you. Are they familiar? Feel the temperature of the surface beneath you. Is your head supported? Are you warm enough? All of this moment is a safety signal. And the body is receiving it. Building trust is slow work. Like a wall. You place one stone. Then another. Then one more. From a distance, the change is hard to see. But every stone is real. And one day you look, something is there. Small but solid. Something has grown. Still drifting forward. We felt how the body finds its way back to safety. Movement, nature, connection, creativity, safety signals. But now let's come to the deepest tool the night holds. Sleep. Sleep is the nervous system's greatest time of repair. Through the night, the body isn't simply resting. Through the night, it's actively working. Repairing. Regulating. Processing. Cleaning. And most importantly, processing anxiety. Sleep is not a passive state. Sleep is one of the periods when the body works most intensely. It just works quietly. Without making a sound. There are sleep cycles. Repeating cycles that continue throughout the night. Each cycle lasts roughly 90 minutes. And through the night, we pass through 4 to 6 of them. Within every cycle, different sleep stages occur. Light sleep. The body calms, breath slows, heart rhythm settles. Waking is still easy. Deep sleep. Called slow wave sleep. The most restorative stage. Growth hormone is released. Tissues are repaired. The immune system is strengthened. Muscles rest. The body does its deepest maintenance work here. REM sleep, rapid eye movement. Eyes are closed but moving quickly. The brain is very active. Dreams occur mostly in this stage. And this stage holds something extraordinary for anxiety. REM sleep is the center of emotional processing. This stage is critical for processing emotional experiences, consolidating memories, and reinforcing learning. During REM sleep, the brain processes the emotional experiences of the day. It places them into long-term memory. But something interesting happens during this processing. The stress hormone noradrenaline drops to near zero. This is very important. It means memories are being reprocessed, stripped of their emotional charge. The experience is still remembered, but the sting of that moment, the sharpness of it, the feeling of being consumed by it, softens. Researcher Matthew Walker describes this process beautifully. When REM sleep is sufficient, emotional memories are still remembered. But that emotional sharpness, that eating away at me feeling, has softened. As if the memory is being archived like a photograph, but the anger, fear, and pain of the camera that took it have been erased. This is why sleeping on it genuinely works. This isn't folk wisdom, it's a neuroscientific reality. After enough REM sleep, the same problem that felt catastrophic at midnight can look manageable by morning. The same memory that felt unbearable can feel slightly more bearable after a full night's rest. Sleep deprivation and anxiety feed each other. Anxiety disrupts sleep. And when sleep is disrupted, anxiety increases. With sleep deprivation, the amygdala becomes approximately 60% more reactive. 60%. The same stimulus triggers a larger alarm. Less sleep means a lower threat threshold, a hair-trigger alarm system. And this cycle is very exhausting. I can't sleep because of anxiety. I'm more anxious because I can't sleep. I can sleep even less because I'm more anxious. A cycle that needs to be broken. Picture it in your mind's eye. The same problem. Two different states. First, the middle of the night, after 4 hours of sleep. The mind exhausted but spinning. Everything feels enormous. Everything feels unsolvable. Everything is pressing in. This will never get better. Second, morning, after 8 hours of sleep. The same problem. But now it feels different. Difficult but manageable. There's one step, maybe two. A path is visible. Same problem. Same person. Only the nervous system is different. Sleep changes the perception of reality. Genuinely. Why do anxious brains struggle with sleep? Before sleep can begin, the nervous system needs to shift into parasympathetic mode. The sympathetic system needs to slow. The alarm needs to quiet. Cortisol needs to fall. But in chronic anxiety, the sympathetic system doesn't fully switch off. The alarm keeps ringing. The brain keeps scanning for threats. Let me just think through this one more thing before I sleep. What if I forget to do that tomorrow? Why did I say it that way? And sleep won't come. Or it comes but stays shallow. Deep sleep decreases. REM stages shorten. Waking exhausted in the morning. The brain cleans itself at night. This is called the glymphatic system. Using cerebrospinal fluid, metabolic waste is cleared from brain tissue. This cleaning happens especially during deep sleep. Through the day, the brain worked hard. Thoughts, decisions, emotions, responses. This work has metabolic byproducts, waste proteins, used chemicals. As these accumulate, the brain labors more heavily. Sleep clears this waste. The brain begins the morning with a cleaner slate. When not sleeping enough, this cleaning cannot be completed. The accumulation continues. And over the long term, this accumulation is associated with conditions like dementia and Alzheimer's. Sleep is not simple rest. Sleep is maintenance. Essential, deep maintenance. There's a concept called sleep hygiene. Practices that make it easier for anxious brains to transition into sleep. Consistent sleep times. The brain keeps a clock. Sleeping and waking at the same time every day strengthens the circadian rhythm. Even on weekends. Especially on weekends. Screen limits before sleep. The blue light from screens suppresses melatonin production. Melatonin is the sleep hormone. Putting screens down at least an hour before bed tells the brain night is coming. A cool room. Body temperature drops as sleep begins. A cool environment supports this process. Most researchers suggest somewhere between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit is ideal. A routine before sleep that slows the nervous system. A warm shower. Light stretching. Deep breath. Quiet music. Reading. Or listening to a voice like this one. Right now, you are doing exactly this. Listening to this voice, being part of this journey, is pre-sleep nervous system regulation. Slow voice. Calm content. Trying to understand. Noticing the breath. Scanning the body. These say to the brain, no danger. Nothing urgent to solve. You can rest. Feel your body right now. Are your eyes growing a little heavier? Is your body sinking just a little more into whatever is beneath you? This is good. This is right. This is expected. The brain is calming. The nervous system is transitioning. From sympathetic to parasympathetic. From alarm to rest. This transition isn't always sudden. Sometimes slow. Sometimes wave-like. But it's happening. Tonight, sleep will work for you. Deep sleep will repair your muscles. Release growth hormone. Strengthen the immune system. Renew cells. REM sleep will process emotional experiences. Soften anxiety. Digest and archive what happened through the day. Reduce the sharpness of those feelings that were eating away at you. The glymphatic system will clear the brain's waste. Tomorrow the brain will work a little more clearly. All of this tonight. Quietly. Without you noticing. But with great care. Right now, give your body permission. As you listen to this voice, as you enter this night. If thoughts float up, let them float. You don't have to hold on to them. Like leaves on a flowing river. They come, they go. You are simply on the riverbank. If anxiety floats up, look at it too. From a little distance, gently. I see you. I don't need this right now. The body knows how to sleep. It always knew. Sometimes, just allowing it is enough. Still drifting forward. We passed through sleep's deep time of repair. We felt the glymphatic system's quiet nightly work, how REM processes emotion. And now we're here. At the final stop of this journey. But the final stop is not an ending. It's an arrival. We've walked a long road together. We began with the feeling that wakes at midnight. We listened to the body's language. We came to know the two great branches of the autonomic nervous system, the gas and brake pedals. We witnessed the amygdala's tireless watch. Fight, freeze, run, appease, we touched the body's most ancient codes. We felt how anxiety takes shape in the body, which symptoms it speaks through. We traveled the long, quiet journey of the vagus nerve. We recognized the memory the body holds, the state of chronic alertness. We explored the paths back to safety. We passed through breath's hidden door. And we understood how sleep, through the night, quietly does its deep repair. All of it came here. To this moment. Anxiety does not define you. This may be the most important sentence in this entire journey. You experience anxiety. But you are not anxiety. This looks like a small difference in language. But it creates something very different in the mind. I am an anxious person, this is an identity. Something that seems unchangeable. Something that feels fixed. This is who I am. It's always been this way, it will always be this way. I am experiencing anxiety right now, this is a state. Something that comes and goes. A wave. This is here right now. And waves pass. You are the person living with anxiety. Anxiety is not a thing living inside you. This distinction changes everything. Anxiety is not an enemy. This is hard to say. Because anxiety is very tiring. Very real. Very uncomfortable. It arrives poorly timed. It feels deeply unfair sometimes. But anxiety is a signal. A voice coming from your body, wanting to be acknowledged. The alarm system is working. The amygdala is doing its job. The nervous system is trying to protect you. In the best ways it knows, with the best intentions. Sometimes a false alarm. Sometimes an oversensitized smoke detector. Sometimes a modern warning issued for an ancient danger. But the intention is always the same, to keep you safe. And sitting with it knowing this, is so much less exhausting than fighting it. Picture it in your mind's eye. A lantern with a small flame burning inside. On a windy night, that lantern trembles. The flame seems like it might go out. It bends, it flickers, it appears to weaken. But it doesn't go out. You are the light of that lantern. Anxiety is the wind blowing from outside. The wind made it tremble. But the light continued. It always continued. What we learned on this journey has been accumulating. Neuroplasticity is real. The research is real. Change is real. The amygdala can learn new safety signals. Vagal tone can be developed. Somatic memory transforms over time. Chronic alertness can slow with repeated experiences of safety. These are no longer abstract pieces of knowledge. They are things felt, lived in the body. Things lived through this night. And what is felt, becomes something lasting over time. Take a deep breath. Not the last breath of this journey. Every breath is a new journey. How are you right now? Has something shifted since you began? Even something small. Perhaps the shoulders sit a little lower. Perhaps the breath moves a little deeper. Perhaps the mind holds a little more stillness. Perhaps that midnight feeling feels a little more familiar, a little less foreign. This is enough. This is more than enough. The nervous system is a patient student. It changes slowly. But it changes. Every calm breath is a note. Every safe moment is a lesson. Every awareness of, I am safe right now, is a reinforcement. And these accumulate. Invisibly. Imperceptibly. But they accumulate. One day you'll notice. That alarm will sound 1 second later. That wave of anxiety will last a tick shorter. That tension will be released a little sooner. That midnight waking will come a little less often. It won't feel like a grand transformation. It will feel like a small difference. I'm a little better today. Quietly. But that quiet difference is the beginning of everything. There is a wisdom in living with anxiety. This is a very hard thing to say. But it's true. People who live with anxiety are often extraordinarily empathetic. They read other people's feelings very well. Because a system that scans for threat is also scanning for nuance. It notices other people's pain, fear, need. This is a gift. People with anxiety are often very thoughtful, very prepared, very responsible. Because that alarm system is always running, evaluating every possibility. This too is a gift. People with anxiety often notice small things. A flower. A piece of music. The beauty of a moment. Because a sensitive system feels beauty more deeply as well. Burden and gift, coming from the same source. From the same system. Right now, travel through your body one last time. From the top of your head to the tips of your toes. All of it was with you through this night. All of it was here for this journey. All of it, your heart, your lungs, your muscles, your nerves, your amygdala, your vagus nerve, all of it kept working. Kept carrying you. This body has done so much for you. Has carried so much. Has protected so much. And it's still here. Still breathing. Still beating. Still with you. Compassion. Toward yourself. This word can sometimes feel empty. Sometimes feels like indulging yourself. But compassion is not indulgence. Compassion means seeing. Saying, I can see that this is hard. Saying, I can see how much you've worked. Saying, you don't have to be perfect. Treating yourself the way you would treat the person you love most. Right now, show yourself compassion. In a breath. No words are needed. Just a recognition. It was hard. But I'm still here. This journey doesn't end here. It doesn't end because you don't end. The nervous system will keep working every day. Sometimes it will sound an alarm. Sometimes it will calm. Sometimes there will be a feeling that wakes at midnight. But now that feeling is a little more familiar. A little more understood. A little less alone. And that difference is a very large difference. Let your body sink into whatever is holding it. Feel your full weight. Gravity is holding you. The surface is holding you. The night is holding you. Let your eyes close. If thoughts float up, let them float. You don't have to reach for them. Like leaves on a flowing river. Coming, going. If anxiety floats up, look at it, gently. From a little distance. I see you. Tonight we're not fighting. Breath comes. Breath goes. Each one a gift. Each one a new moment. Wanderer. You walked a long road tonight. Perhaps without knowing it. Perhaps without fully realizing it. But you walked. You looked at your anxiety without judgment. You listened to your body. You came to know your nervous system. You tried to make peace with your amygdala. You stimulated your vagus nerve. You passed through breath's door. This takes courage. It takes curiosity. And it takes a little hope. Tonight you brought all three. You are safe now. Your body is safe. Your breath is safe. This night is safe. There is nothing you have to solve. Nothing you have to complete. Nothing else you have to be. Just here, in this moment, in this bed, in this stillness. Safe. And now. Let yourself go into this night. Completely. Let your body rest. Let the mind slow. Let sleep come in its own time, in its own way. Because sleep will work tonight. Quietly, imperceptibly, but with great care. It will process your anxiety. It will organize your memories. It will clean your brain. It will repair your muscles. And tomorrow, you will wake a little lighter. Perhaps very slightly. Perhaps you won't even notice. But a little. Good night, wanderer. The journey continues. With every night, every breath, every small moment of safety, it continues. But for now, rest.